Hello everyone, my name is Pedro Llosa, and for those who don't know me, I am a teacher in the upper school. I'm also Markham Union's General Secretary, and I'm here on behalf of the current Union Board to introduce you to the Union and to invite you to become part of it. I don't want to focus on what a union is because I assume that most of you already know that, since you're likely to come from countries with a strong union ethos and tradition. I should just mention that all institutions should have a balance of power between employees and employers in order to achieve collective bargaining and work properly. Unions exist, then, to raise the voice of every worker together as one unique voice. Today, the right to become a member of a union is one of the rights included in the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights. From there, it leaks to the laws of nearly all the democratic countries around the world. The answer is yes, and that is the reason why I am here talking to you. After meeting with 3 different lawyers, I can tell you that labor contracts signed in Peru based on a full-time job performed in Peru are subject to the Peruvian law, which makes you immediately eligible to become part of the union. So it is not that foreign teachers don't have a union or cannot have a union. There is a union, and you can make it yours just by signing in, if you decide to do so. Probably because nobody has pushed this idea earlier. Let me give you a brief history. In its 70 years of life, Markham College has changed in many ways regarding their staff. In the 80s, when I was a student, I remember teachers telling me that there was a big distance between domestic and foreign staff. We were close to the world, and having foreigners working here was exceptional. But since the country started to open to the globalized world, we have people from many different countries. We have most academic departments with domestic and foreign staff working together. We have more than a dozen former students teaching. All Markhamians, as our headmaster or myself, are the outcome of a successful cultural integration. And that is just at the professional level. Imagine if we look at the personal level and count the number of partnerships between teachers from different nationalities. One thing is just for sure then, following this world trend. Our union will sooner or later be international. Will include foreign and domestic teachers. The question is just when. Are we going to make this change now, or are we going to leave it and postpone it for some other time? Yes, that's correct, but let me explain you why. So let's look at this whiteboard. We have salaries in the vertical axis, and we have time on the horizontal axis, measured by years since the school started in the 50s. Domestic salaries are shown in red and foreign salaries in green. So since the beginning, foreign salaries needed to be subject to international scales, international markets. Therefore, they need to be at a certain point. Those scales, decade by decade, this scale have been changing reasonably, increasing by world inflation or how the market works. Domestic salaries did not submit to that international demands, and therefore was a separate world. Until the 90s. In the 90s, there is a big change. The arrival of Bill Baker and the opening of the country made that domestic wages start to grow at a higher speed, since domestic staff was, in a way, becoming more internationalized. Today, we have 2 different scales, it's true, that in a way overlap to a certain point. In the future, what we will have is just one unique big scale where all, and maybe also the administrative ones, are all together in one line, and each person is placed somewhere according to a definite criteria. We don't know when is this going to happen. But even if we assume that we are at this stage, these differences do not make any change when negotiating at a union's level, because there is a difference between a scale, but there is a big difference also within the scales. But what should bring us together is not our temporary differences, but our structural similarities. We share the same venue, we share the same timetable, we share the same institutional hierarchy, we share the same type of job, we share the same responsibilities in front of parents, and I can go on and on. We share the fact of being employees under the Peruvian law, and that implies that whenever you have a problem, and problems can go, just to put an example, I'm not saying this happened, from a picky parent to an event of harassment, it's your union, the one that will provide and pay a lawyer for you. Take it as a kind of insurance then. That is a legitimate fear. Although dismissing someone for becoming unionized is against the law, it is true that when refusing to renew a contract, employers don't need to explain their decisions. Yet it's hard for me to believe that the current Peruvian director and our acting headmaster, two persons for whom I profess my highest professional and personal respect, and who hold, by the way, a substantial background as members of the union, will base their future decisions on who is and who is not part of the union. But imagine I am wrong in this point, or you simply don't share my point of view. The best way to counteract any possible future reprisal on unionized staff is to register massively, all together at the same time. And of course, to learn more about your term contracts. We can help you on that point. In conclusion, I want to invite you to take the voluntary decision of joining us. You can do it in the following days left, before 2016 is over. I would like to start 2017 with an even stronger union and to have you soon, not only in the union, but also on the union's board. You just need to fill a one-page form and pass it to one of our members. The Peruvian law establishes a monthly payment of 0.5% of your basic salary, that is 5 soles for every 1,000 soles you earn, or $5 for every $1,000, and you can sign in or out at any moment. Current times require us to be protected, and the more united we are, the more protected we will be. I hope you decide to be part of this union and make it your union. Thank you very much for your time and attention.